Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. I've got a real smile on my face because we did it. We did it since 2006, Hotel. Since
Oh,
2006.
it was a sweat towards the end.
God, dearie me. You know, I've lost some hair, Tel.
Me too.
I don't know where I'm from, but I've lost more hair. Anyway, let's get this music intro all done and dusted, and we shall see you on the other side where we're going to give you some post game reaction. Get in, Arsenal, get in. Yes, welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. And LTL, there's your godfather. We did it.
We
did it,
finally
man.
did it. Oh man. Oh, can't. And what a wonderful display. Everybody worked their socks off. Arteta was my man of the match. I know he wasn't out there kicking it technically, but he just set up the team so well. It reminded me of a George Graham team. Everybody knew their job. Everybody knew how to defend. They worked their socks off. Well done, Arsenal.
But got to ask a question.
Yeah.
Why can't Arsenal always play this way? Why can't we always literally start from the blocks very, very quickly? You know, why can't we start like this every single game? Different mentality.
I suppose football's a passionate game, and when the players have the passion in them, then you see it. And I remember in the championship years that we've had, once you get to first or second, the players go up another couple of levels. When they suddenly realise, a bit like in the FA Cup, when the players suddenly realise they could win something, they're seriously close to a big piece of silverware and a winner's medal, you notice the standard goes up straight away. They're not just working their way through games. Yeah. And I notice we're level on points with second, but there's so many teams up there. Quite ominously, there's only one team at the top. That's a bit ominous. But yeah, listen, it's as much as we could have hoped. We played really well. We defended brilliantly, and normally the best defence wins league titles. And I think we now have the best defence in the league.
Yeah, we do.
Gabriel was a mountain, wasn't he? Holding never lets us down. You know, we all look at his game. Is he a bit one-paced? Is he this? Is he that? But he never lets us down. He's good in the air.
Like yourself, I think with Holding, he's good at reading the game. He's not the quickest of defenders, you know, like Tony Adams. I'll make that comparison there. But his positional play seems to be, you know, above, you know, with one of the best.
Well, the famous phrase is his first 2 yards are in his head. He's in his head. He knows exactly where to be. I was getting worried when Mistakey nearly came on.
Mistakey.
I've been working on that one all week.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Listen, DWTT, welcome, making your debut on Cannon Fodder TV. Thank you for coming up last minute, taking up the invitation. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This was a good day, right? I mean, we got to see something good today. I mean, we got to see us play the style that we wanted defensively, and in a style that we've been wanting for offensively on the attack. That first half, I loved it. We couldn't finish it, but I definitely loved the way we played that first half.
But you know, I've just finished asking the Godfather that question. Why can't Arsenal always play this way, DWTT?
Well, I think if you notice that first half, I think if we kept doing that, I think we would have gotten in trouble. I mean, we got some yellow cards there, as I think they tired, right? Gabriel grabbed, Rashford was scaring me because he could sense, you know, they needed to get something out of the game. And he seemed to be like, and then when we had two center backs in with yellows, and then I'm like, wow, you know what? We're going to have to, you know, park the buses, they say, to slow things down, to control that, you know, to park the bus essentially so we can control the game. And we did a good job of that, and we attacked still, you know. We still got good looks, I think, in that first half, you know, even with the two yellows.
Yeah.
So,
Before I ask some of the Godfather, who was your man of the match?
yeah, I had, I was looking. I had 3 guys that really came today and showed up. One being Gabriel, which I think is the easy choice. Hector. I mean, I'm always on Hector's back, trying to figure out, going forward. He put some pressure on them. El Neni does what he always does. He's pretty sound.
Yeah.
He doesn't do. His 100% is. We get that most games. His 100% isn't the same as anybody else's 100% because he's still, I don't think he's as talented as some of the other players out there. But we know what we're going to get. We never lose. We don't lose anything when he's out there. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes really at all that I can think of where I'm like, he doesn't do that. I think he needs to get a little comfortable with Partey, and because I think Partey with him right there, those two, if we continue with that, that's the other thing. Are we going to get the same 11, next weekend? I'd like to see the same 11, and then let's see if that works going forward.
Yeah. Eltel, Godfather, who was your man of the match?
I was looking through the team at the end, and the first thought that came to me was the man of the match was not kicking the ball there, although he was kicking everyone on the sidelines, and that's Arteta. He just pulled out a masterstroke of tactical planning. He got all the 11 players and the ones that came on as substitutes. He got them all playing at full pelt. Certainly by the end, they really were going for it, and they were running. I think right at the end, El Neni did a 50-yard, fast run back and dispossessed one of the opposition players. This is what great teams are made of. They've got defensive organisation. What a defence that our defence did today. Just wonderful. Everybody knew where they were. In the end, I think we had 6 across the back. They brought on Maitland-Niles, and I think I counted 6 at one point. But so be it. But the great thing was they knew where to be, and they weren't getting in each other's way. I thought Partey had a better game. He's still to find out where he should be, and he tends not to be available to receive a pass. So I think he'll be talked to, and they'll work that out. But he had a much better game. And once he's on the ball, the man is dynamite. He was making tackles. I thought he's never going to make this tackle. And then not only does he make the tackle, but he keeps the ball close to his feet and then he immediately knows where he's going to spray the ball to. Straight away. He's already taken a picture in his head. And the moment he tackles the guy, the ball's gone and Arsenal going forward. And El Neni, somebody spoke to him and said, no more crab football, no more sideways. Because every got the ball, he was looking for a forward pass. He was being daring, which we've seen him being very safe before, which is great. He's a very safe player. But I saw him taking chances today, not silly chances, but playing those diagonal balls, and he was worth his place. I was surprised when Arteta put him in, but he patrolled in front of Bellerin very, very well, and he brought the best out of Bellerin. Willian, ever since he's been at Arsenal, I've always thought he looked as though he's lacking a bit of pace. He's lacking a little bit of zip, He certainly is better wide. He's certainly better either left or right wing. But as we were saying there, as your friend said, our fullback there, Bellerin, I think he's finally shaken off the fears of chancing his leg. I was at the game at Arsenal where he done his knee, and I noticed today he was going in for tackles, flying in at great speed. And I think he's got his confidence back after a very nasty injury. And he's back playing. I mean, he's really got a lot of that pace back again, because the injury he had used to finish players' careers, So I think they all played. I can't think of a weak link in our team.
Lacazette. It's funny you should say that. It's funny you said it.
As soon as you said it, you got the answer.
What are your thoughts on Lacazette? Did he have an okay game, or what are your thoughts? One of you?
Oh yeah, no, I think I don't think he had a good day, and you can tell he's not having a good day when he seems like he's yearning for a yellow card.
Yeah.
He gets frustrated with either his play or what's going on in the game, and you can see him. He's just trying to get a yellow, I guess. I don't know if that's screaming for help, but he definitely, I think he struggled today. His hold-up play, which is what he's supposed to be in there for, was lacking. I mean, I can't remember that many times where he actually was able to hold that ball up just enough to allow his teammates to catch up to him when he was out there. I think he took some of the chances that we want to see Aubameyang get, right? I don't think it was his best game. Then he got subbed off, and I think we were able to hold on. But yeah, he didn't have a good game today. Willian, I don't know if he got hurt. Getting hurt, early. I think in that first half, that kind of slowed him down. But he didn't have a good day either. I think the other 9 players looked really good to me. I mean, I don't think I could question their play today. But I think as a team, as an 11, we looked really good out there. This is the 11 we want to play. We had 11 guys all playing for the same cause, and it looked really good. I enjoyed it.
And the thing as well, without Ceballos, Danny Ceballos didn't feature today. Without any creativity as such.
Yeah, I was watching the game, and I was sitting there. I was like, well, if Hector's going to play like this, how is Ainsley going to get in the game now? Because I always thought it's between the two of them. One of them's going to have to sit. And Hector going forward is a lot better than Ainsley. As far as the way he played today, I don't know if I've seen Ainsley do that too often. So, I mean, I think that hopefully it's a good battle, and maybe that they would compete and show each other. This is one has a good game, the next one goes in and shows us maybe they can do the same, and then you want that competition. So if we can continue to get that.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. We need competition for all the positions. Tel, did you want to say something before I go into the live chat?
One of the nicest things I saw today was that middle third that we're often overrunning. Yeah. I loved it when Elneny got the ball and he strode through. He keeps the ball very well. He shields it well. And it was just great to see the ball progress at speed through that middle third. Because once you get it up to the forwards, that anything can happen. But we've always lacked somebody to run through that midfield third, keep the ball and spray a good pass. And I didn't think Elneny had it in him, but I saw it today. So these are obviously patterns of play that Arteta's had the players working on. And I think we've got the foundations now of a very good team. Just the foundations. There's still a way to go. Yeah. But he's got the foundations there, and they pulled off a great win there. Brilliant.
Let me go into the live chat for the first time. Welcome to everyone. I see the numbers just creeping up above 50 live viewers at any one time. Amit, good evening to you. One of our first members on Canal 40 TV says, Elneny had a good game. I've got to say before I read on, Amit does not like Elneny. He doesn't like Elneny. Let's see if he can maintain this level of performance. Man of the match for me was Gabriel. Also, Partey controlled the midfield. Oh, and we won. Of course, that's the most important thing. Abby, good evening. Says, good evening, Alex. I believe you have spoken with Arteta. Well, I did try to call him, but his line was engaged. Observations from the last match shows a different gameplay today. The missing cohesion is gradually coming back to the team. But like DWT says, we've got to see more consistency. I don't want to see, Arteta, tinkering too much with the squad. Brilliant this evening. But don't tinker too much unless there's any injuries, Arteta, if he's listening, by any chance. The whole team was determined to move the ball and cover every position for each other. Yeah, they played for each other, didn't they? This is a good team spirit and team. In unity, we excel. That's a nice comment there. Armstrong, good evening, says, hi, Alex and the Canon 42 family. What a great game. And to me, we should maintain this team because they move the ball more quicker and dominate the game. Great. Good Gunners. Brilliant. Yeah. Fantastic. And David, where is he? I've lost my point of reference. Where was I? Bring me a second, people. Right, David Trower, who's one of our moderators. DWT, I'm sure we can't see you. I'm very sorry about that. We can't see you. I'll try and read it very, very quickly.
No problem.
All right, welcome everyone to Cannon Point TV. I hope you're all feeling goonalicious. Now that was a much better performance from the guys. Well held our own, and I got the result. We march on to the next. The next one is against Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds, isn't it?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tactical game. Oh man.
Oh dear. Let me continue with the live chat. Let's see. I think we need a striker and a strong midfield partner for Partey to complete our team. DWT, do you think we need another striker?
It all depends. Like I think we have somebody that can play the middle, right? So it all depends on how we decide to play. So it could either be Auba moving to the middle, right?
Yeah.
It could be, right? So and Laka can come into to spell him when he needs some rest. That's one option. A striker, I don't know if that's where we're lacking as much as another partner for Partey and maybe some depth on the defensive side, because we definitely are lacking that. I think Eddie can help as in a reserve role right now. The key things we also want to talk about though is you got Willock and Nelson, right? They looked really good on Thursday. I'm hoping to see them get a little bit more time as well, so that might help us as far as that midfield goes as well. So, yeah.
So were you surprised? Were you surprised not to see them?
I wasn't expecting them to play, and then not to see them on the bench didn't really surprise me at all. I think Arteta is really slow in his progress as far as how he moves the team, right? We were surprised to see El Neni the first time, and then he's shown us why El Neni's been a good choice. So you got to have to trust him, right? He's been pretty good about. He's not going to rush things, because I think that spoils the apple cart, as they say sometimes. So I think he's taking his time. And those guys, I think, deserve what they've shown deserve to get some minutes in the Premier League. So maybe after the next 3 or 4 games where we have our tough games, maybe they'll get more slotted in.
Yeah.
Before I go back into live chat, Godfather, in regards to the Lacazette issue, would you drop him and put Nketiah in, or?
Well, obviously he's doing what Arteta wants him to do. I don't think he particularly likes playing in kind of a withdrawn centre forward number 9 role. In fact, there was several points in the game where he came right back into the centre spot and was right back in front of our midfield, obviously working toward us. And his body language says, I don't really fancy this. But he's prepared to sort of do it. And he's with the best team in the world, as we all know. So, yeah, just keep it going. He does look a bit as though he doesn't really enjoy it. But remember, the English Premier League is quite different from other leagues, which is why a lot of players like, say, Pepe, have difficulty settling in. It's very aggressive and it's very fast, And I think Arteta, because he's obviously played in the Premier League, he knows that you're going to need a good, tough centre forward up there with a broad back who can occupy both centre backs. And this guy is not particularly tall, but he's as tough as old boots, And he was getting kicked and shoved, and he was moaning and groaning and shrieking and stuff. Well, that's all part of the gamesmanship. But I do like him. I think he's a great player. I think I just might tell you the story in case I didn't tell this before. I was queuing up. Hang on a second. Well, someone stuck outside. Hang on.
It could be Arteta.
His phone died, so he had to just stop by and say hi.
I'll tell you what, if it is, it's Mrs. Arteta. No, I was going into the ground about a year ago, and I walked past a guy who looked like Lacazette, but older. So I didn't think anything of it, and walked past and then got into the queue, and I looked behind me, and he's standing there with a kid in a pushchair. So I thought, I'll talk to him. There was about 10 people in front of us. So we started chatting, and he's French. It's obviously French, and his English was very poor, and my French was very poor. But he said to me, my son, he played number 9 today. Okay. And I said, you're Alex Lacazette's dad? And he said, yeah. And I presume the kid in the pushchair would be his granddaughter. Yeah.
Mm.
So and his son got subbed off that day, which is a bit sad. But no, I've got a lot of time for Laka. He does a good job. And I did read recently that we did make a bid for an Italian centre forward, about 6'2", 6'3" guy. So I suspect that Arteta's looking for a plan B and an option, because if what we're trying to do works, we're going to have crosses raining in. We've got Tierney, we've got Bellerin, whose crossing has improved a great deal. We've got Cedric crossing. So I think he might want a plan B in games that are approaching a stalemate. He might want to throw on a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go back into live chat. So Isaac is another contributor on Canal 4 TV. Says, Alex, I told you we will win. Did you? Are you sure? I was so confident when I saw that lineup. I knew we had the chance. When you live with a tiger, you know how to hunt. Arteta learnt how to hunt from Pep. Whoa, some deep words there. Alex R14, good evening to you. What a game Arsenal played so well. They were so good everywhere today. Everyone played very good. Come on, you Gunners. And I've got to say, that's the only thing we asked for. If Arsenal, they're going to lose some other games this season, but at least show some fight. Show some togetherness. And like tonight, I thought, it was a different Arsenal. So, I mean, do they have like an identity crisis that they can't make up their mind, what kind of performance are we going to deliver to the fan base? But today, I've got to say, I think maybe like the Godfather says, I give props to Arteta. Literally, he got the 11 right, the performance, the mentality, everything kind of fell into place. But it's the first signs. It's not the ending. It's just the beginning of the whole story there.
Yeah, and we got 90 minutes out of it. We got 90 minutes. I didn't feel like we had a slip where there was like a minute or there's like a 10-minute part in the game where we kind of got away from our identity. I think we kept that identity pretty strong. We attacked when we wanted to. We held back when we wanted to, as opposed to them dictating as much as, I think we had a lot of control in this game where we haven't in the past. So it was good to see.
And also, I've got to say, the referee didn't have a bad game himself, to be honest. Did he?
As I kidded, I think our check cashed. I think he cashed our check today.
Yeah.
I think he usually just passes it on by, takes the bigger one. But today I think he cashed ours. I mean, we got lucky on some, some plays. They got lucky on some, but I think we got the better of the, I like, it didn't. It wasn't 11 versus 12 like I thought it would be today.
Yeah. Okay. Tori Hakim, my brother, says, hi, Alex, good evening, and good evening to you as well, my brother. Amit says, I was worried when I saw Mustafi come on.
Mistake, he nearly came on.
I told you that Arsenal was going to win. You did actually, Tori. Thank you for that. El Neni and party partnership is what I want to see going forward. El Neni playing right back when Tierney is pushing high. Alex, we have a team converting little margins into winning games. But then, so what happens to Ceballos then? What happens to Ceballos? Do we send him back to Real Madrid?
No, I think Arteta's planning 2 or 3 games ahead, and he's looking at the teams we're going to play tactically, and he's obviously figured out that we've got, I think the first team's got about 25 players, and he's gonna be doing the usual moving players in and out. The biggest worry is our centre backs. We're supposed to have 8 centre backs on our books, and yet we're struggling to find 3 fit centre backs. So that would be the position he can't rotate a great deal. But at least he's got options now, and obviously against Leeds we're going to need fresh legs and maybe a different set of tactics. So although the team are playing with the same basic structure, I think there are different patterns of play that he's kind of working on. We saw it today with El Neni. He did so much stuff there that we haven't seen before, and making that ball move through that middle third it was something I wasn't expecting, and neither were Man United, you know. Yeah.
DWTT, I mean, what are your thoughts on the situation with William Saliba? What are your thoughts about
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little confused by that. I mean, the one time I saw him play, I thought he looked really well, and to hear that I saw reports that he may not even play again until January, and I'm like so confused by that. I know he's playing the 23s, but with our depth and what we need, I mean, can't he get some games to give us some rest, especially towards end of games? I feel like having to have fresh legs come on to help us defend would be pretty nice, especially as we move forward. I mean, Mustafi versus him, I'm not sure. What is he lacking? I didn't see much when I didn't see there was a big gap in what he could provide to us than what Mustafi can, especially in like late games and stuff like that. So I feel like I know he wanted to go back to France, maybe for family purposes, but I think he's got an English family now, and I'm hoping that they can show him that, look, we want you here just as well as we want you to be comfortable when you're back in France. So
yeah, that's a good point, actually. Good point.
Yeah.
Got my brother, my co-host, Ralph says, hey, all fantastic team effort. So glad the team showed a lot of grit.
Yeah.
Samba Frimpong says, I think the best partnership is Partey and Elneny, and not Dani Ceballos.
It's looking like that, yeah.
How things change over.
The big difference we're seeing in the Premier League at the moment is because there aren't the big crowds there, away games don't really have the same threat as they would if there were 60,000 supporters shouting for the team that we're playing against. So I think that's why we're seeing these odd results as well, these 7 goals scored against teams and so on. And we saw Villa playing well for a few matches and then suddenly shipping loads of goals. So I'm sure that helps. If you go to the big grounds where you're expected to be shouted at and screamed at, and players do hear that, and players do get affected by it. It's a very threatening atmosphere if people are baying for your blood, basically. So it's quite an unusual. It's still competitive and it's still gripping football, but it feels different somehow. And you can hear Arteta shouting, and you can see the players have got a chance to listen to what they're being told. And I think we'll probably have this for the rest of this season, the way things are going. So, and we've seen some of the teams that are very well coached doing well. Everton with Ancelotti, fantastic manager, fantastic coach, has won everything in the game, and he's coaching them really well. And Arteta he's only started off as a manager now, but he's got a background in being a very good coach. So maybe things are different now, and teams are able to be coached a lot more from the sidelines. They wouldn't hear that in a crowd of 60,000 people cheering. So it's a kind of a slightly different game that we're seeing there,
Yeah. And I was just kind of tuned in. I've got Eltel, the original Godfather, and I also got Gary as well, DWTT, making his Canon 4 TV debut, post-game reaction. Just going through like the players and the performance. Yeah. Arsenal won. Yeah, Arsenal won. I couldn't believe it, man.
Come on, you got it. It was great.
Incredible. If you're watching for the first time, make sure you subscribe to Canon 4 TV, hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest news. We're doing a regular Monday night show with James Rowe, where we talk about a Europa League Cup action. It'll be happening tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. UK time. So join us there. So make sure you subscribe to Canon 4 TV. If you don't, you're going to miss all the wonderful content on this wonderful channel, which is Canon 4 TV. Let me go back into the live chat again. There's been so many comments here. So many comments. And there's here one from David, our moderator, says, greetings to Alex and to the original Godfather and to Gary. Tell me you're feeling good-delicious.
Yay!
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Bronze Dosser, well done. It says a good result makes up for a lesser result. It does. I told you about holding yesterday. Clean sheet, Elneny again, brilliant. Can't drop Elneny now, can you?
Leave him in.
Yeah, he's doing good. There's no reason to change it, right?
You realise if we had got a result against Leicester, just think where we'd be in the table now. You know,
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, I look at these four. Some of these four tough games that we had this year. The Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, and then Man U. And all of the big difference between them is that our defense has got more and more stout, right? I mean that Liverpool game is probably a wake up call. I don't think Arteta wants to see that again, where we're giving up 2 and 3 goals, especially the way we did. And today, same thing. I don't think Man City got much. They didn't get that many good looks. I think they had one shot in the first half. I mean, that's usually us on our bad day, and we're able to do that. So I like that. So whatever his plan is, it's working. He figured, I'm going to work from the back, get that solid, and then gradually we've been pushing it forward and forward and forward, and I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As it says, Bella in shorts. What's wrong with his shorts? Leave him alone. He played well today.
You can't make fun of him today. Yeah. He cannot make fun of him today.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
Amit says, is it just me or has Tierney not a single bad game this season?
Yeah. I mean, his bad days are like normal days. Are like okay games for some. He doesn't play that negatively when he's out there, and he's having not his best day out there. So he's consistent. Consistent in his range of like from good to bad is so small that you don't even notice it when he's having a bad day. He makes sure that he doesn't punish us if he's not feeling it.
Yeah. So, and I've got to say as well, he's probably one of our best crossers of the balls. His crossing from a left hand side is up there. One of the best crossers.
Yeah.
David says, I like also that Auba was pulled off. His energy lately is so low. My man of the match for me was Thomas Partey. That guy was crazy good. Even when he's lost the ball, he won it back. Yeah, he lost when he lost the ball. Yeah, wonderful player. Your thoughts on Saka, Godfather?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him at the start because he lost a few challenges, but his head didn't go down. And then as the game sort of wore on, he did more and more good stuff. There were several times where he raced back, he defended well, he stepped into midfield. So apart from the first maybe 10 minutes when it looked a bit sort of rocky, he did very well. I think Arteta will be trying to work on how he receives the ball. Because so often when we play the ball to him, he's got his back to the defender. It comes to his left foot, and then he hasn't got anywhere to turn except backwards, and then play the ball back. And I know Arteta is very strong on how people play the ball forward and how people receive the ball. So I think they'll be working on that. He prefers the left side. Arteta's tried him on the sort of right wing, and he looked very uncomfortable. He's the sort of player, he seems to explode once he gets into that final third. Then he can jink, then he can jink right. And he did a few things later on in the game, moving towards the opposition penalty area. So he kept his head up because I was a bit worried. They were sort of bullying him a bit, really. And he got clattered a few times by quite heavy tackles. But he kept his head up and kept going. So, yeah, good player.
Yeah, so we've spoken about the absence of Dani Ceballos. Better still, the absence of Nicolas Pepe, DWTT. No Pepe.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to play today because they pulled him out of the game. Yes, but as I was watching the game, I was just thinking, that first half probably didn't give Arteta the confidence that he wanted to have going into today's game. Willian didn't do bad, but a good Pepe I think outshines and Willian, and it should. But I don't think that first half presented as a good resume for today's game. As far as if you're looking to get into the starting 11, I don't think he showed that. I mean, I think either he's got to be putting that ball into the box or scoring goals or something, and he wasn't able to do that against Dundalk. So. Against Man City, I think he may have struggled about that, especially the fact that we needed to be so solid, right? Our defense need to be so solid today. I want him to shine. I want him to shine, but he's got to look at those that are fighting for the spots and try. He's got to do the same and better. I think he can do better, right? But we just don't get to see it.
Do you think he's burdened with the price tag, £72 million?
I think Arteta usually tries to protect his players, so I feel like, if anything, if Arteta's talking to him, I think Arteta's telling him, don't look at that. That's not how you're going to get on my field. That's not how you're going to get on my squad. If you're looking at that number, then we have a problem. You do it in practice, and I want to see it in games. And we're not seeing it in games right now.
Yeah. Just on a sidelight about Pepe, lads, I don't know if you noticed that. I'm sure you have, that Hus Fahmy, who was the guy who negotiated contracts and clinched them, he's suddenly gone west, as have most of our backroom team. And it's pretty common knowledge that Arsenal think that they overpaid for Pepe. And if you put the two together, I know Kroenke's had a friend of his going into the club. I forget his name now, but he's basically a finance guy. And he's gone in and found out, well, how many people are doing, two people doing one person's job. And the latest one from the Gazidis era is Hus Fahmy. And I put two and two sort of together and thought, well, he must have been at the heart of the negotiations for Pepe. And while I'm not putting Pepe down at all, he doesn't look like a £72,000 player, and £72 million player. Sorry. And
I didn't want to correct you.
No.
I thought that's probably about right.
No, but it does about 72,000, doesn't it? I had it right.
Yeah, I like to say that we got a disc. We it's a wash, because we got Gabriel, and then we got Partey, and that equals out. So you switch some of those numbers around, and you would pay 50 and 75 for Gabriel and Partey, and not even bat an eye, I think, based on their place, right? Pepe needs the time, and at $20 million for Pepe, who needs to get his confidence, is not a lot. It's not that bad if you kind of switch the numbers around.
Arteta said two very interesting things, which is he needs to penetrate more, because he tends to wait. He gets the ball and then he's going to do all this. I'm going to beat 5 players. Well, that doesn't work in the English Premier League. And Arteta said he's got to learn to jink to his right and use the right foot. If you're always going to go inside, I know Robin did, but Robin had electric pace, so people couldn't follow him. But even Robin, you've got to have the trick up your sleeve. Even if you're a very one-footed player, you've still got to be able to approach a defender and have them not sure which way you're going. So I think on the training ground, they'll be looking at ways of getting him to use both feet, going both sides. But he probably will end up a winger that plays a little bit like, this is going back a while, Mark Overmars played for us. Do you remember Mark Overmars? It was often said that he wasn't a pure winger because he didn't hug the sort of touchline. What he did was he played in that half space. And I think Pepe likes that. He likes to approach the edge of the area. And as we know, he's very good at firing in very accurate shots. So I think there's going to be another 3 or 4 months of the team, the backroom team, working with him, working on that right foot, working on how he receives the ball, and not trying to beat too many players. You've got to receive the ball in the place where you've only got one person to beat. And that's a magic player. You've got a footballer that can beat one-on-one. You've got a top footballer. But you won't get guys, unless they're like George Best or somebody, that are going to go through 4 or 5 players. So he's got to learn to be part of the team, receive the ball, go past people on left and right, and then I think his best place will be in that sort of inside forward spot where he's not always hugging the sort of touch line, but he's approaching the goal. Yeah.
Okay, let me go into the live chat just for the last time. We've got John Wayne. John Wayne says, is it the real John Wayne? No, it's not. It's not a real John Wayne. Good evening, folks, he says. And good evening to you as well, John Wayne. Hob Turner's an old-time subscriber to Canal 40 TV, says, well done, guys. Well, I didn't do anything. It was Arsenal. Lars Janus says, Gabriel with a colossal performance. Absolutely fantastic. We robbed off a real gem. Gabriel is the GOAT. Yes, I tend to agree with you. David says, hit the like, good people. Also subscribe if you are new here, the channel, and become part of the Canal 40 TV family. Thank you for that, David. Who else do we have here? Again, my brothers come back to say, so glad the boys played their hearts out. And Arteta, another masterclass.
Yeah.
But again, we need to see that again, maybe possibly the same 11. No changes, no tinkering, please, Arteta. Don Arsenal, who's not the fan of Arteta, says, Ole, who? Pogba, who? Bruno, who? On any party, Auba.
Blood, fat, yang.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. Bit of a tongue twister. Right, where were we? I've lost my point of reference. There's so many people in the live chat. I can see the viewers have gone over 100 now. Thank you for that.
Wow.
No, Alex, our next is Villa, then Leeds. Oh, right, okay. Oh, Aston Villa. Aston Villa, LTL.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, well, they've had an up and down season. Sometimes they've looked absolutely wonderful, and then they just leak goals like a colander. So it'll be interesting. It'll be another tactical game, I think. I remember Grealish played against us in the cup final there. Was it 4 years back when we played Villa? And although he was very young then, he did look a very good player. And he's come on in great strides, and he's a cracking player. So I think we'll hopefully put Partey on him or someone because he really makes that team tick, and players play off him. And he obviously is the first guy to sort of stop. Tyrone Mings plays for them as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I remember when he was playing for Ipswich years ago, they played him at left back. For a 6'4" guy, that's quite an unusual sight. See a massive guy at left back. But he always struck me as being a good player. So he's going to be tough to play against. But yeah, it'll be a fantastic game, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Let me try and run through this very, very quickly now. Isaac responded to someone, I think it may be Ahmed, who said we need another striker. He says that we have Bellingham. No need for another striker. DWTT. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we have a lot of options. We're not playing them as much as I would like. So it's hard to tell sometimes, right? Who we got. And when we do see them, we hope to see them again because they look really promising. Bellingham came on. He looked like he was going to attack the middle of that defense. He did a good job. Some passes they didn't make to him, so he kind of left him hanging there. But yeah, I don't know if it all depends on what Arteta's plan is. If it's to hold up the ball like it looked like he was asking Lacazette to do today, then maybe that's not the guy we want. But if we're going to if we're going to be moving forward, that's a nice one. I think I always thought we had a lot of good, promising youngsters out there. We just never got to see them play. And I think we're finding that out the hard way because we put two defenders out there on loan and we needed them. Could have used them this year, based on where we are today. So I feel like, Bellingham. I want to see. It's like anything else. I want to see more, just so we know. I think we may not have to go anywhere to get what we need as far as to build up our depth. I think we have a lot of players, especially for the middle, and Bellingham shows us what he can do. Why not?
Okay. Amit says Leeds will be a fun game. I want to see us go for punch with them. I want to see a 4-3 win. Well, I don't think my heart could take a 4-3 win for Arsenal.
Yeah, when I saw that score today and it was 4-0, I was like, "Oh, is Everton losing today that bad?" Yeah. And then you see them, and then with minutes, with less than 30 minutes, they're able to close the gap. And you think if it goes on another 10 minutes or so, that's a tie game, right? It's.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing Arteta has us doing is trying to play 90 minutes of whatever plan he puts in place, right? And we do that, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Absolutely. Charlie Terrell from, I think, Jamaica says, yes, Pensor. Listen, I had a flurry of messages from a couple of Liverpool mates of mine, and they were saying, because I thought actually Salah kind of cheated, but again, bit of a strong word. Penalty for you, Godfather?
Well, yeah, definitely a penalty, and I was expecting the opposition to be getting a penalty. I couldn't believe I got it. Oh, God. I remember saying beforehand, I hope there aren't any penalties in the game, expecting them all to go to United. And suddenly we get one from Mike Dean of all people.
Exactly.
What's going on?
Yeah. God, so that was a surprise, a real surprise. Let's see.
That's a Man U penalty, though, isn't it? That's how they usually get their penalties, right?
Yeah.
You attack them and you put their defenders on your back. You feel some contact, you go down. It's fair play, right? It works one way, it should work the other, and we got it today. I mean, I don't think outside of that Gabriel tackle, I don't think they came close to getting us punished by a penalty inside the box today. So I think we did really well keeping them one out of it. They didn't get to go in there as much as they wanted to, and we didn't put ourselves in any danger, not that much danger, until they started pressing because they needed a goal.
Yeah.
I've got one here from Amit asking about in regards to Pablo Mari. As far as I know, he's had a setback in his recovery. I know he did some light training with the squad, but he's had a setback, so we're not going to see him. I guess maybe maybe January. I think maybe at the earliest. But yeah, Pablo Mari you won't see him play this year. You won't see him play this year. Thank God Mustafi didn't play well. Well, he did for a few minutes. Not to do any damage. Well, just a few more before we wrap this one up. Let's have a look. How far is Martinelli? He should be back Christmas. I am more thinking maybe January. Probably January. I don't think we'll see him this side of 2020. I'm thinking 2021. I can't see him being back, pushed back so soon. But yeah, 2021. I would probably say. David says, Victor, Xhaka belongs where Mustafi is, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Dickens evening says, El Neni plus Party. That's a good partnership. But again, then what happens to Ceballos? Ceballos is all of a sudden like he's sidelined. Well, it's a headache that I prefer.
I think it's good. We're now seeing that we're beginning to have a player for each position. We've got two players now. So, it's good that we have El Neni coming through so we can rotate. And I'm sure Ceballos will play against Villa. And then maybe El Neni will be back against Leeds. But I think that's what the teams needed. With these matches coming thick and fast, you have to rotate. But it's no good rotating and bringing in a substandard player. So if you've got them playing well, and obviously Arteta is very good at improving players. You might remember his main role, or one of his main roles at Man City, was to take individual players and improve their skills, improve all different aspects of their game. Now, I think he's already waving his magic wand with El Neni. And when I saw El Neni play so well today, I thought maybe that's why we bought him. Maybe that's what he was playing like before we bought him. And didn't he play for Basel out in Switzerland, I think?
That's right. Yeah.
And because what we always wondered when we saw him play, he looked a very average player. Today, he didn't look an average player. He looked a good player with a fantastic engine. I mean, that guy could run not just for 96 minutes, but 196. And that sprint right at the end was phenomenal, So I think it's good that Arteta is working on these players, on their individual skills. And I'm glad that we've now got a midfield that we can move different players in and out of. We've basically got the same structure, the three central defenders, the overlapping fullbacks. But he's obviously working on patterns of play, and to go to United at any time and get a 1-0 in. And what we haven't said is, even though it was a penalty, we deserved the win. In fact, we were very profligate in the first half. There was a few chances there that went begging. I'm not blaming Saha because he's young, Saka, but he did have a good headed chance that he didn't get right. I'm not blaming him. I don't want him to sort of dwell on that.
I'll blame him. I'll do it for you.
But no, I think we deserve the win. But if you look at the last few results, we're still not hitting the back of the net regularly. And that will be a worry. And that will you can't stop training the defence. That goes on day by day, week by week. But I can see patterns of play happening in amongst our 5 or 6 forwards now. I can see good stuff going on. So let's keep that going. But let's start hitting the back of the net a lot more regularly, because we were the highest goal. What's the metric is that we scored the most goals from the fewest chances earlier on this season. So we were basically converting most chances, Now that's deserted us, which can happen, In the world of statistics, that's always bound to happen, I guess. But let's get back to being a little bit more organised in front of goal, just getting the ball into the net, and then you have a different Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, go on,
yeah.
Go.
No, I was just going to say that first shot on goal in the second half from Partey. That's what we want to see from our, other forwards, right? Those type of shots where you're stinging the goalie's hands as he's trying to stop it.
Exactly.
And then we saw, El Neni and, take a shot, and I was like, okay, no, you know what? You're okay playing defense. There's certain roles that you need to play in the team, and you know what? Let Partey take those shots, and you guys can work together on the defensive side. But I think, we definitely need to, put our chances on goal. I mean, I personally just like to say, when you're inside the 8, you're inside that box. If you're not looking to score, then you're wasting your opportunities, right? You get in there, your head's got to be looking at that goal and seeing what the defense gives you and putting that ball. Make the goalie work, right? You got to make the goalie work. He's sitting back there clean. You got to make him move around. You got to make him, he's going to have to dive. The shots are going to come. I think it was aubameyang. I think one of his shots, it looked like a pass to me. It hit off of Harry Maguire, went out, and we didn't get the corner for it. But I would have liked to have seen him put a foot through that just to see,
And do you know what? That ball was actually on target, and because it clipped Harry Maguire, it sort of went wide. But if you looked at it again, it was going in. It was just sneaking into the side of the post. So I'll tell you what I did notice today. I mean, I wouldn't like to be up against a big guy like Partey. And about midway through the second half, somebody fouled him badly, and he went down like a ton of bricks. And I saw him look up, and as if to say, right, let me spot the guy that let me just see which one he is. That was me. I'd have been running. Not me, it's the other guy.
Right, let me go into the live chat just for the last time, try and wrap up all these. So again, guys, the numbers above 100 live viewers now. Thank you so very much for joining us on this post-game reaction where Arsenal eventually got over the hurdle, 14-year hurdle. But got one here from Dickens who says Pepe needs to go back to basics. Keep it nice and simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Good play by the gunner today. Who else do we have here? Don Juan said this is better than match of the day.
Every Arsenal match is match of the day for me. So
I think I'll let my brother have the last comment here. He says, hey David, I will do it for 1-0 to Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Brilliant. So thank you to Ralph, and you made my day more goonalicious. Thank you very much for that. Guys, listen, we're going to wrap up this post-game reaction. Of course, I'll do a lot more of these. It seems it was more easier today because we won. It's a lot more difficult when we lose.
No.
I've got my paracetamol always ready over here. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to Eltel, the original Godfather, for coming back. And I'll tell you what, Eltel, you've got a lot of followers, because it was on Saturday I did the morning show, and the chant in the live chat was, "Where's the Godfather? Where's the Godfather?" I was thinking, right, okay.
I'll have to have a bit of theme music coming on every time I come on.
We'll work on that for you. Gary, listen, quality. Thanks for coming on last minute, man.
Thank you for letting me for the invite. I definitely enjoyed it. Thanks to the original Godfather. It's good to be on the stage with you today.
Brilliant, man.
Brilliant. So, like I said, guys, at the beginning, make sure you subscribe to Cannon 4 TV. Hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest news right here on this channel. I will not be doing any more live shows. I'm going to be back at work tomorrow at my school, my regular job, but I will be doing evening shows throughout the whole week, so Monday to Saturday. So join me back in the evening tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. UK time, when I go through some Europa League action and reviews with James Rowe, who's a really good friend of mine and a regular contributor right here on Cannon 4 TV. So so we overcame the Red Devils.
Yes.
Hey,
we gunned them down.
We got our points. Got our 3 points.
Yeah. 2006 it's too long. It's too long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
It's over now. That's over now. Let's move.
Until next time.
Now they're gonna have to say. They're gonna have to say top 5, right, or whatever that is. Gonna keep reducing it down. So hopefully we don't even have to talk about it ever. So
yeah, good point. But to those of you who've just been watching Cannon 4 for the first time, and you've been wondering, maybe just been wondering who or what you've been listening to. Well, you've been listening to Cannon for the channel.